Shalom, 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 Israel, brother Amos with the Watchman for Israel. First and foremost, as we always do, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, to the brothers pushing this truth and strong sincerity, laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice, doing all they can for the hopeful elect, for the nation of Israel, and for all those who desire learning. I want to give y'all a strong shalom. To the sisters holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being a teacher of good things to the younger women and unto the children. I want to give y'all a strong shalom. And to the men and women forsaking this world and coming out of the world, coming back to serving our God, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, I want to compel y'all to be as the church of Berea, to search the scriptures daily and diligently to see if the words that be spoken to you are true or not. Right? Let the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua be true and every man a liar. If it's not thus saith the Lord, then cast it away and go strictly to the scriptures or into teachers who teach thus saith the Lord, as the Lord has commanded. Right? So we're going to start off with Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. Right? And it says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's." Right? So as you could imagine, this cold cut is going into covetousness, envy, jealousy, all the things that the Lord cannot stand, right? And we're here to rebuke that spirit of envy and coveting and jealousy as we approach the Passover, as those who have kept the Passover, to keep that leaven away from you and your households and your congregation, right? So that we're not falling short in any aspect, but we will fall short, but we're going to try to offend less. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to anybody who's battling with that spirit, right? So what does it mean to covet? Covet means to desire or to want something that somebody else has, right? So you envious, you're jealous, you want it, right? So you can't want your neighbor's house. You can't want to take your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his ox, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Right? The Lord gave that unto your neighbor, and he didn't bless you with that for a certain reason. You know, maybe because you may be big-headed about it, right? Or you may boast, right? It's a reason why the Lord hasn't given you such things that other men or other women have received it, right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5, right? Ephesians chapter 5, and we're going to start at verse 5. "For this ye know, that no whoremonger," somebody who sleeps from from woman to woman, right? Those are whoremongers, right? And they don't take them to be their wives and fulfill the role of husband, right? "Nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, have any inheritance in the kingdom of Yahushua and Yahweh." Right? So if you're a covetous man, you're an idolater, right? You're somebody who puts something above the Most High. You make that individual item, inanimate object, no matter what it is, you make that your God. You're not going to inherit the kingdom of God. God is going to cast you away. And the Lord's going to say, "Depart from me." So you have to be mindful of how you look at other people's possessions, how you perceive other people's blessings. Because you can gravitate unto that and have a covetous spirit and may not even realize that you're coveting about it. Right? You're like, damn, I really want that. I love them shoes he got on. I really want to have them. Right? And what does that happen? You may end up stealing. You may end up swindling. You may end up getting over on your brother. Right? It's nothing worse than a covetous man. Right? Let's get that in Sirach chapter 10. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 10. Right? Sirach chapter 10, I'm going to start at verse 9. Right? And it reads, "Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth he cast away his bowels." Right? There's nothing more wicked than a man that desires something that he shouldn't have, or a man that desires something that doesn't belong to him. Right? Because while you're living, you'll cast away your own bowels. Meaning give it up. Right? It's nothing more wicked than a man who desires the things that his neighbor has and wants to do whatever he can to take it from him with violence and wrath and vengeance and all manner of wickedness. Right? For one, when he liveth, he'll sell his own bowels. Give up the goods. Right? We're not going to get too descriptive on it, but you know what that's going into. Right? You know what that means. Give up the bowels. What are your bowels? That's what travels waste into the outermost parts of the toilet. Right? Give up his own bowels. Right? Let's go to Sirach, chapter 14. Right? Sirach, chapter 14. And we'll start at verse 3. Riches are not comely for a niggard, and what shall be an envious man, and what shall an envious man do with money? Right? Riches are not comely to a niggard. Right? What's a niggard? Somebody who's selfish. Right? Somebody who doesn't share, somebody who doesn't regard their neighbor. And what should an envious man do with his money? Right? A man who wants to have money, what's he going to do with his money? He going to buy things that he see. He going to try to take over people. He going to do a whole bunch of wickedness. It's like it. Right? He's going to have that spirit that what I see is what I want, and what I want is what I get. The ultimate wicked spirit to have in these last days. Right? He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that they shall spend his goods riotously. Right? If you gathering and coveting and doing all these things, right, the Lord is going to have that happen so that other people can spend it. Right? Coveting for the next man. Coveting for a man who deserves it more than you. Right? These are the things you got to be mindful of and check your spirit once you start to get that desirous demon. Right? What's a desirous demon? Something, ooh, I really want that. I really need that. You know what I do with that? Right? That's what a man says in the world. When he sees a woman that he likes, he don't know what he's doing with that. I'll take that from her. X, Y, and Z. You got to make sure you refrain yourself from that spirit. Right? That spirit will destroy you and your household. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 30. Right? Proverbs 14 and 30. And it reads, a sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. So what's a sound heart? Your mind is always meditating on the ordinances of the Lord. Your mind is always meditating on the ordinance of the Lord, the law, statutes, and commandments, how you can offend less. But the envy is the rottenness of the bones. What does that do? It consumes you. It makes you want to eat, desire, have, until there is no more left. And now you're looking like, damn, what can I do? Right? That's like Alexander the Great. When he conquered the whole known world, he cried. He was upset because he had no more land to conquer. Right? It's a rottenness of the bones. It makes you feel terrible. Everybody's had that spirit. Yeah, I need that. I want that. You do anything to have it. And once you got it, it's not as good as when you was desiring it. Right? All that glitters is not gold. Right? All that glitters is not something that you should behold. Right? Let's go to Proverbs 24 and 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. So you can't be envious of evil men, right? Like these rappers and celebrities who flaunt their money in your face, talking about you a broke nigga, you this, you that, right? We can't be envious of that, right? Because their heart studieth destruction, right? They're not... Their heart isn't studying how to keep their mind ordinance, or in the ordinance of the Lord. Their mind isn't studying about the kingdom of heaven. All they're worried about is how they're going to get their next dollar. What they going to do to get some more money. How they going to stunt on a man who can't afford these things. Right? These riches are nothing. What can a man gain in possession for his own soul? So we're sitting here coveting, and Eve is famous for that. Wanting these designer handbags, right? These such and such shoes that cost X amount of money. Right? I remember back in the day, it was a Kanye West song. It was called The Blame Game. At the end, it was Chris Rock and I think it was Amber Rose at the end of it. And what was he saying? He said, Jimmy Choos, who taught you how to put on these Jimmy Choos? Right? Saying, you see this? Man, who taught you how to do that? This is designer stuff. This is stuff that the ordinary man can't desire. He can't get this. Right? Who taught you how to do this? Who taught you to love these fine things? Right? And that's covetous, man. That's covetous because when the next person sees it, they want it and they desire it. They do anything they can. That's why scamming is at an all-time high. Online prostitution is at an all-time high. Right? Murder is at an all-time high. Because there's nothing more evil and wicked than a covetous man. They'll do anything to make sure that they have, until they have is not enough. Right? Let's go to James. Right? So let's go to James chapter 4. And we'll start at verse 1. Right? This is James chapter 4 and verse 1. From whence come wars, fightings among you? Come they not hence even of your lust at war in your members? Ye lust to have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not because ye ask not. Right? All these things happen because of covetousness. Wars happen because of covetousness, because of another nation wants this person's land. Right? Envying among us as a body happens because we may want something that another man has. Right? That so-called Greek story, the Odyssey with the Trojan Wars and stuff, when he went to go take his wife back because a man wanted his wife. Right? All these things, they come from covetousness. Right? Saul, right, coveted the Amalekites' land and they beasts. He didn't destroy them all. Right? Achium, who coveted that garment and the gold, that Babylonian garment. All these things happen because of covetousness. Right? Jason, that wicked priest, he wanted the priesthood. It's all covetousness. Right? All these wars happen because of the lust of us. The lust and desire the things that we shouldn't have or need. Right? Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. Right? You ask for these things and the Lord doesn't give it to you because it's going to consume you in your lust. It's going to destroy you. It's going to devour you. It's going to pull you out of the truth. It's going to make your loved ones hate you. So you have to be mindful that the Lord is not giving you these things for a reason. Right? Let's go to 1 Timothy. Right? 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So the love of money has caused our people to err and die in this truth. To fall out the truth, to hate their brother, to murder, to kill, to steal. Give it to him. I'm doing a video. Right? These things have caused such destruction. And it caused you to err from the face and pierce yourself with many sorrows. Now you're doing 30 years behind bars. Now you're doing 100 years behind bars. Now you lost a loved one. Right? These things happen because of the love of money. Right? That's the root of all evil, the love of money. Because you desire to have more and more and more so you can store it up like dust is stored. Right? These things happen because we war in our members with lust and desire and do things that we shouldn't be doing. Right? Let's go to 1 Peter. Right? 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. So like, I'm on babysitting duty. So excuse my kids acting up. Right? 1 Peter 2 and 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speaking, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby, if so be ye have tasted the Lord is gracious. So every day we got to be like newborn children in this truth. Right? Not going back to the same thing, but desiring to learn more and more and more. Right? This is the thing that we need to do, is desire this milk and lay aside all envies. Right? Covetousness only begets more sin. Covetousness only begets more wickedness until it has consumed the whole nation. So be envious of your spirit. Be mindful of the things that you're consuming. Be mindful of the things that you allow your family to see, and maintain in this course until the end, because we're almost out of here. You don't want to be left behind because you were coveting evil things, coveting things that can't bring you salvation. With that, I say shalom.